Hi, I'm Panda Hershey, and I use astrology to work with entrepreneurs and their teams to take control of their businesses and their personal lives so they can thrive in both without having to learn astrology. Welcome to the September 4th Coffee and Charts call, where we talk about the transition that we are going through between now and the end of the month. If you're clear on what you're good at, but can't figure out how to improve it and make it better, or if you're thinking about going back to an old system, listen to our conversation so that you'll know what to do over the next couple weeks. Okay. Fernando, welcome.
Hello,
Good
Panda. How are you?
afternoon. It's still afternoon.
Yeah, it's afternoon. Yeah.
Excellent. And you're dressed for the weather. That's good.
Trying to get ahead, yes.
Yeah, good. Good. All right. Well, we have like a minute before we start, but I'm just curious, how is everyone doing with their possibly very overloaded brains today? Is anyone else going through like, oh my gosh, so much information like bouncing around in there?
It feels like I'm being a bit more productive than I have been.
Yay.
Lots going on.
Excellent. Okay, good. With that late moon, it's like it's kicking in for you, if that makes sense. Like,
Yes.
you get it. Awesome. Awesome. Fernando, it sounds like that you're not having the whole like brain overload right now.
Yes, today is was a lot of work, and I'm already tired a little, and still have a next meeting at 6. So unfortunately I can only attend for half an hour. I'm sorry.
That's all right.
Today is just a lot. Yeah, I don't know why.
Yeah. Well, hopefully I'm going to be at my 20 minutes and then people can go on their way or ask questions. But let's get started. Welcome, Stacy. Welcome, Louise. Looks like you've got a beautiful day up there. Oh my gosh. What a treat to be able to do that outside. So I just realized, second, there we go. So can you guys believe it is September? I like am floored that somehow we made it this far. But we are in this transition phase that just sort of started. And, just as a reminder, so much has shifted recently. Mercury started moving forward last week. So it's like getting your mind, that's Mercury, clear on what it is that you're good at. And hopefully you've been recognizing it. It's still in Leo. So, and Leo is that style of like knowing you have something to offer and hoping that other people want it, get it, want to receive it. And those people are definitely out there. And what else is happening is that Uranus stationed retrograde a few days ago, 3 days ago, and Uranus has helped us change and restructure how we show up. If you actually think about how you've changed even over the last like several months, the most recent portion from mid-May until now has been deeper. It's like you've either found something or circumstances have committed you to like changing the way that you are present. And you've been learning something about yourself in that process, but it's helping you get to that next level. Another thing that's happening is that Pluto has moved from Aquarius. So doing everything you can to level up, to see what's wrong with the old structures and do things, we'll say, better or level up in your life. And now with it going back into Capricorn, it is an opportunity to pull everything together into a structure. So usually when the Capricorn is like putting things together after you've learned something. It's like making something very practical after you've, I don't know, taken a class or whatever, putting it to work. But when you go backward, it is like you know, I'm I'm about to be 59. So it's like taking my 59-year-old brain and like, if I could, putting it on my 30-year-old body. And that would be like, oh my gosh, if I knew then what I knew now, I could do things differently. And this is almost that, but it's a temporary thing. It's an opportunity to go back and take some old structures, old ways of doing things, and then tweaking them, knowing what you know now, so that you can head off in the right direction, so that you launch yourself into this new you in a better way, improved way than you compared to where you were at, say, in January. I hope that makes sense to people. If you're searching your brain for what that is, it may not be apparent for a little while, but just know that it's temporary. So let me just point out some of these things. We're here on September 4th. Here is Pluto. It is moving in this clockwise direction back out of Aquarius into Capricorn. Here is Uranus here in Taurus, also moving backward this way for 5 months. And that Mercury portal is still, Mercury still is here in Leo. It will be here for the rest of the week and then move into Virgo, where you start to have this idea of, okay, I know what I'm good at. I'm going to improve it. So, any questions before I get going on the next 2 weeks? Is that landing for people? I don't have my chat up. Okay, excellent. All right. So today is the day that Mars, actually, it might be tomorrow. Oh my goodness. That Mars moves out of Gemini and into the style of Cancer. And Cancer is about tapping into your intuition. And intuition is not logical. And so with Mars moving into this style, it is about putting your heart into something that bubbles up without any specific reason. It just feels like a leap of faith. It feels like this could work. It feels like I could try this, but I'm not exactly sure how I plot my way to that. So just be aware of that. And the Mars portal is in Cancer later, but we'll talk more about this. So just be aware of that. It's almost like shoot from the hip mentality. And other people are going to be feeling this too. So you'll want to be aware of that coming at you. The other thing that is happening today is that the sun has been progressively moving through Virgo for almost 2 weeks now. And this is that mindful action to get things right, to hone things, to figure it out and make it perfect. And with it being opposite this Saturn portal, where your dream team has been supporting you and been been able to understand what you're going through, they're able to give you some perspective on how well you're doing. Like, this is going great. You could work on this. And so for the next week or so, this is an opportunity to tap into those people. If you haven't been in touch with them for a while, great time to like give them a call, update them, and you can do the same thing for them. One thing I want to point out is this big gap between Mercury and the sun. So everyone, all of the planets move in this counterclockwise direction. So you can see that the sun is far ahead of Mercury here. And so if it feels like your brain is not catching up or can't keep up with what you're doing, this is why that is. And as Mercury picks up speed, it will start to catch up. So you can cut yourself a little slack, give yourself some grace as you allow that to slowly happen. For the next couple days, just remember that you're doing the work to get things right as the sun keeps moving through Virgo. Do you have a question, Louise? Okay. On the 7th, so in 3 days, the sun will be exactly opposite Saturn. So if you've got that dream team in mind, those people who really have supported you in terms of the day-to-day work, part of your day-to-day team, and it doesn't have to be with business, but the people you interact with every day, and they know, or you know, you're trying to work on something that they could have some perspective on, this is a great day to call them and say, hey, can you tell me where I'm doing things right, but I could use some help? So if you want to carve out that time at the end of the week or over the weekend, great time to do that. Then on the 11th,
Sorry, Panda. When is that? Is that Friday or Saturday?
the 7th or the 8th?
When you said to be calling people.
I think it was let's go back.
Sorry,
It was the 7th. No problem.
tomorrow.
The
No,
7th.
Saturday.
So today's the 4th. So 3
Saturday.
days from now, which would be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Saturday. I still count on my fingers. So no problem, Louise. Thanks for asking. And then on the 11th, that is the day that the Mercury portal is complete. So you have been getting this clarity about this new mindset that you've been growing, this awareness that you've not been exposed to until this summer. And you've kind of figured out what you're good at in terms of using that information, doing something with it. And now you begin that journey of, I know I need to work on it and make it practical and make it mine, make it beautiful. And conveniently, that is where the sun stops being at the end of the Saturn portal. It's like you've been coached all along the way by your dream team for the last week. And now that you have this clarity on, like they're telling you, here's what you're doing well, here's what you could work on. And this mind is behind it, right? Seeing what's going on almost in the future. It's like, okay, now I know where I need to get to. And so as you keep going, your mind will catch up to, okay, I get it. I hope that makes sense. You will get it. On the 13th, this is when Venus is opposite Chiron. Now, Venus brings in things, receives people. And Venus in Libra is about bringing in, receiving a partner or the energy of another person to match you. And this Chiron energy is this in Aries is about trying to get something important in front of people to get them to notice, and either the people you didn't expect to get it do get it, and the people you thought it would be so obvious for are just not getting it at all. And that is one form of how this may show up. I think it's possible that if you've been working all this time, all year basically, to get something in front of people to notice, where someone it clicks for. If you have been trying to hide something that you didn't want people to notice, this may also be a time where someone points it out as possibly something that you need to work on. And I'll be so curious to know how this plays out for people. And if you can imagine something in your life, like getting called out on something, that this may be an opportunity to broach that with someone, or if you see it in someone, say, hey, you know, I can tell what's going on, and maybe you need to go do something to work on that. So just a heads up on that. And that's just for a few days. And it's directly opposite on the 16th. So almost 2 weeks from now. And that may be a time for a conversation where you possibly get surprised. And that is also the day that Mercury starts to be opposite that Saturn portal. So it is almost an opportunity to go to your dream team for advice. If something comes in, it's like, oh, someone's interested in what I've got, or they pointed out something I'm doing wrong. What should I do? How can like you guys advise me on how to respond to it, think about it, how I should be approaching it. So it's with these energies, I get to put my own little spin on the interpretive dance of what I'm, the music that's going and how I would perform this. But as I speak to some of the energies, hopefully things are coming up for you that you can simply be aware of and be prepared for. And on the 17th, so about 4 days, Venus finishes that journey across from that Chiron portal. And we meet again on the 18th, and that is where Mercury is exactly opposite Saturn. So again, another day to get in touch with your dream team. So if you think about those energies of doing things and getting feedback, and then thinking about things and getting feedback, it's like having done it, getting their perspective, and then after having thought about it for a bit, going, am I thinking about this right? And they can give you that reflection. So I'm going to go backwards, and you can watch the movements one more time. Any questions as I'm doing that? Feel free to unmute yourself.
Panda, I had a quick question too. The Capricorn, that's something that we should be doing then, or something that's happened. It was moving backwards, right? Was it moving backwards?
Yes.
Yeah.
So it is an opportunity to reflect on an old way of doing things, and possibly knowing what you know now, tweaking it, because you've got new knowledge that you didn't have, I'll say at January 1.
Yes.
So as a business owner, it could be, I'm going to try that launch style again, but
Yeah.
I'm going to tweak it based on what I've just learned over the summer. I'm going to run ads the same way. I'm going to,
It was just the way it was like, holy smokes, when you said it, on the money, right? Thank you.
It's a temporary thing. It is this opportunity to learn something only for a short period of time.
That's
so
what I
that
want. Yes. When does it, is it next week, or I couldn't remember?
It's going backwards until October 11th.
Okay.
And then it moves forward October 11th until November 19th.
That's amazing. So I've got really now till October 11th, I'm be doing that. Cool.
Great. And even again, to take things forward. So if you were, it's almost an opportunity. So for example, if you were launching a a new cohort of taking elements of what's working and adapting them to a larger group or a different way of teaching, but taking what's working, going back into the compost pile and finding what you should not have let go of, and then using that to go forward. I hope that is making sense to everyone on the call. Thank you for the question, Louise.
I have one other just on the Mars one. The Mars that was finishing. Did you say? I didn't have my pen. I'm so sorry.
That's okay. And I'm recording this one, so you can go back and
Okay.
listen. But Mars is moving out of Gemini into Cancer. So Mars is that energy of putting your heart into something, but also defending something. So with Gemini, it is about processing details. It is about using your mind for something. It could be about communicating. So what I've heard from so many people is that their brains are overloaded with a lot of stuff, internally, but coming at them. And it's hard to sift through all of it. And as it moves out of that into Cancer, it will be like the cup overflowed. And now I just got to go with my intuition, go with my gut, put my heart into whatever my gut tells me to do.
Wow. And that's
I know
happening.
it starts today. And honestly, with the Mars portal, it is going for months. It will literally be going on into next year.
That's amazing. Like I woke up this morning, like 2 a.m, and dreams, and it's just like it's really powerful. I was like, what, yeah. So that's probably part of it, right?
I definitely think so. And getting feedback on it, this is the time also to like bounce it off people, because the intuition can lead you in so many ways that sometimes being able to direct it using a mirror can help you get guided in the right direction. I hope that makes sense. Good. Okay. Thank you. All right. I'm gonna, we can watch the movement of the planets. Maybe we'll be able to watch Mercury catch up to the sun. I love watching that squeeze come together. So that's when you know your brain is like getting it. Okay, here we go. Okay, we meet again on the 18th, but you can see that this gap between Mercury and the sun has narrowed, and that is literally your mind catching up to what you are doing. And by the end of this month, that's when you'll feel like, I caught up. And then Mercury will get ahead of your doing. And it's like, oh, why can't I keep up with my brain? This is happening again. But it's all this natural pulsation of how life goes. So that, I don't know, I find it so beautiful. So the Mercury portal completes a week from today. And what have you learned about what you are good at? What is your knack for something? And it may not be perfect. And I'm going to tell you, that even if you're good at it, I always love the Tiger Woods example of how talented he is as a golfer, and yet he goes out and he hones his craft. And this gift that you have is actually the source of your growth in 2026. So that's how long you get to perfect it, so that your fun is like your launching pad in 2026. How awesome is that? It only happens every 12 years. So like, yay. And it may take a few weeks for you to figure out how you're going to get on that path of making this knack or talent better, but allow it to flow easily. You've got space to figure it out. It won't happen tomorrow, and that's okay. Feedback from your dream team can guide you. And I'll also I threw this in here, just be prepared for something interesting to come up in terms of a topic that you know is important to you, that someone else is recognizing. It might be validation of something that you've been working on for a long time. It's like, oh, finally, someone gets it. And it may be something that you've been trying to avoid, and someone's pointing it out to you. And with this temporary return to Capricorn, I'm going to say, you may hear it as business as usual. You may hear it as the good old days. Just know for yourself and for all of us that it is only temporary. It is an opportunity to adapt what you've learned to something that has been useful to you in before and to take it forward. So with that in mind, just a quick recap. Pluto in Capricorn is from September 2nd to November 19th, with kind of that halfway point at October 11th. The sun being opposite that Saturn portal, just getting that feedback from your dream team on how you're doing and how to make things better. If you're actually part of a team, is like, what is your contribution to the team effort? And working together. They've got this nice view of what you're doing right now. And sometimes getting that perspective can help course correct you. Mercury completes its portal on September 11th. Just think about how far you've come since July 16th and where your mind is in terms of recognizing what you're good at. And now this opportunity to make something of that even better. And then Venus opposite the Chiron portal. We'll see how that plays out. And then Mercury opposite the Saturn portal. So again, you've done something of trying to make things better, and your team is getting feedback. You get to chew on that for a little bit and then say, okay, am I thinking about this right? Am I talking about this right? But it is that opportunity to learn by doing over the next couple of weeks. So your brain is trying.
Panda, could I just take a screenshot of that? Is that okay?
Of course. There we go. I'm going to move this out of the way.
Always so helpful. Got it. Thank you.
You bet. So if your brain feels like it's behind, it is. And that's okay. You get until the end of the month to catch up, and it will be okay. In the meantime, your external brain are the people around you. So let them help you think about what you're doing. And if someone unexpectedly recognizes something that you've been trying to bring to people's attention, tap into any helpful feedback and incorporate it, but give yourself some time before you engage with them. So, can I get back to you in 3 weeks? Or can we work on this in 3 weeks? I need some time to chew on it. All these kinds of things, right? This is the space that if you give yourself this time, you will be ready. And just remember that this sense of business as usual or going back to the good old days is only temporary, but it is an opportunity to benefit and get yourself to the next level. And for those of you on the replay, if you want to join us live next time, just check out the description below. This is open to everyone, and I love the conversations that come of it. So come join us. All right. Any questions? Anything that that you're like in your own life or just generally that I can help you with?
Just a thank you, Panda. That I'm just completely continue to be and beautifully so, like everything that you're sharing, just how much it's a mirror really of, you know, what's going on for me. And I, I'm sure, it's just really quite remarkable to be able to see the way you explain this and to be able to see how it's unfolding and really how I can harness it. So it's very, very, very helpful. So I'm very grateful to you. Thank you so much. It's so on the nose with everything.
Thank you, Louise. That's awesome. That's my goal is I just kind of lay out what the dance is or what the music is, and you get to step with it however you want to. So, all right. Stacy, so good to have you. So glad you could join. Min, good to see you.
Thank you.
Thank
So
you.
glad I could join. Yeah, thank you so much, Panda. It definitely does resonate. Yes, I appreciate it. Yes.
Love
Okay.
hearing that. All right, you guys, go to it. I'll see you in 2 weeks. Looking forward to it.
Thank you.
Bye now. Thank you.
Bye.
I hope you feel prepared to move easily over the next 2 weeks. Be sure to tap into the feedback from your dream team and anyone who just gets what you do on a daily basis. You've done plenty of work on your own over the last few months, and it's time to get some feedback and support. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you next time.